Okay, so hello everybody. I'm just gonna introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Rachelle, and I'm a nurse and farmer's wife and mom to 5 kids, soon to be 6. So we live a very busy lifestyle, but we have learned through marketing courses and stuff just to make it more manageable. And this is the lifestyle we really enjoy, and that's kind of our driver for all the things that we do here at Wholesome Family Farms. Is we want to create a really enjoyable farm, not only for us that's sustainable, but for our family as well, just because we have a lot of kids, and we want to continue that legacy. Jordan's a 4th-generation farmer, and we want to have a farm for our kids for the future. So that's kind of why we do what we do here. So we raise 100% grass-fed beef and goat, and then we have pastured pork and poultry as well. So our main goals here are to focus on soil health, food transparency, being more transparent with our customers, the community, and with our kids, teaching them how to, eat healthy and make good choices, as well as building a customer relationship. We really enjoy the relationships with our customers, and I will definitely advise people, if you are not a people person, direct marketing might not be the option for you. You can be an introvert and still be very good at direct marketing, but you're going to have to talk to customers and you're going to have to enjoy it, where some people might not. And that was a challenge for my husband. He is a people person, but I am more of a, go-getter and talkative, and like to meet people and learn about what they're doing and stuff. So that's kind of, how our relationship works. But I would say there's other ways to be profitable on your farm. I know this workshop is about direct marketing, but there are other ways to look at things. A lot of people think direct marketing is the way to go. And I'm not saying it's not, but having really good soil health and really looking at your inputs and stuff like that can really be a good profit margin for farmers as well. So I will get kind of started. So the foundation of your marketing, you want to start with your ideal customer in mind. You really cannot build a strong marketing foundation if you don't know who you're marketing to. Otherwise, your marketing gets kind of lost. So your ideal customer is the kind of person you want all your customers to be like. Right away, you kind of make this person up. And then as we've marketed, I would say we really have a few customers who are like, yes, they totally love how we're farming, how we're raising our kids. They love to, hear about what we're doing on the farm, and they're so supportive. I send emails and they email me back and they say, yes, this is, just what I was looking for. This has helped me so much. And they're just so loyal. And that's what we enjoy. We enjoy sharing our story and being transparent and building that strong relationship, because it's just so important, especially now, no one knows where their food is coming from. And the people that do value that, we really appreciate it. So it helps narrow down your marketing focus. So it helps your marketing, basically, if you go from marketing to everybody, so basically they say, if you're marketing to everyone, you're actually marketing to no one. So you need to build a more focused marketing. It can be someone that's similar to yourself. And it helps plan all of your marketing materials and makes decisions. You make all decisions in your marketing, in your product line, what you're growing is based on our ideal customer. It's not based on what we want, because that's not what's important. Some of the values, yes, soil health, and some of our customers do value that, but our ideal customer is not focused on soil health, if that makes sense. You guys can ask, you can throw questions up to Barrett if you guys have questions, and I can talk about that more at the end too, if it's confusing to anybody. So all of our emails are not written for me. They're not to talk about how we're grazing, how we're moving our cows. They are focused on our ideal customer. So I'm writing an email to a busy mom that wants to feed her kids healthy foods. That's all of our blog posts. social media posts. It's what my customers not want to hear about our story. It's not what I want them to learn or know. I do think it's important for them to know how we're raising their food, but they don't care that we seeded a 16-way cover crop mix for our cattle that we graze all winter long. That's not important to them. It's us being out there with our kids, moving our cows in the winter, that they're like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Same with our website design and our logo. They're not based on colors that I like. They're based on colors, fonts, everything that our ideal customer is attracted to. We are building an on-farm store right now. Same thing. The decor in there, I am not into decorating, but it's all based on what our ideal customer wants. She wants a great experience, and she values that. So that's how we base all of our decisions on our farm, and it makes your decisions very simple. It makes them very easy. It's not, oh, do I do blue? Do I do purple for my, this or, fonts or logos? No, my customer likes the colors green and tan and white. So it was simple. And you can make that up. You can interview customers. I strongly recommend interviewing customers. But that's how you make all those decisions. And it helps really focus your marketing. And when you really focus in on that, more people are actually attracted to you, which sounds kind of backwards, but. So you also want to learn how your customer thinks, wants, feels, and needs. These are very important as far as, writing content for emails, blog posts, social media posts, things like that. So the more specific you get, the more people that are actually drawn to you that are not your actual ideal customer, which is very surprising. We have so many males that are searching for local food, but because I'm marketing to his wife, then they are attracted to you. Even though his wife didn't find out about us, he did, and he was like, wow, Rachelle really understands exactly what my wife wants. It's amazing how well it works once you start doing it. So you want to start with customer interviews. If you don't have any current customers, make it up. Make up your own ideal customer, somebody that you really want, either your best friend that would buy from you, or I'm sure there's somebody you can think of that, really supports local, that you can think of that you could either interview or that you want your customers to be like. So you ask questions so you can learn how you solve their problems. What does, buying local do for you? Or, what can we help you with? Things that they like to do, and get very specific, and pay attention to the words and phrases they say. So like, I love being able to talk to the farmer that grows my kids' food is something that we hear a lot when we're talking to our customers, in our interviews, and stuff like that. Or some people, like a flower farmer, I enjoy the community and conversations at your You Pick Flower Farm. That's like one of the phrases then you'll want to use in all of your marketing materials, because that's what they value. They don't value how you grow your flowers. They value the community and conversations they get when they're there. That's the same with our products. They don't value, some customers do value how we grow it, how it tastes, but most of the time it's the relationship they're building with me and how I'm helping solve their problems. So this is just an example of an ideal customer. And based off of this, you could really, ask anybody questions. So this is Angela. She's 35. She works full time. She's constantly busy. She lacks energy to cook. She's sometimes anxious. She wants to lose weight. She's tried supplements and many diets with no results. She's married and wants to have kids. So she's coming to you because she either has problems that she thinks you can solve, and her being your ideal customer, you're giving her ways that you can help her, whether it be with your food or a recipe booklet, or how-to tips, or other ways you can help her. So like a blog post that would attract her on your website would be how to plan nutritious farm fresh meals for the week. She's she's busy. She's looking to lose weight. This is something that would make her really drawn to you. A lead magnet, 5 quick meals for when you're always on the go. Or a product description on your website. Tired of eating on the run and feeling guilty about not cooking enough? Throw one of our roasts in the crock pot and cook up a delicious meal. That would be a great product description for our chuck roast. That she will read that and she'll say, oh my goodness, yes. I always feel guilty for eating out and not cooking enough for my family, because that's exactly that's how we solve her problems. So what has changed for us? I now update my ideal customer yearly, more often in the beginning. I started out with just a base ideal customer that I thought was our ideal customer. It turns out it was totally opposite. And now that I've gotten more and more in depth, I've learned more and more and more about this person. I even named her. She's Sandy. I just gave her a name because it's just easier when I'm writing my emails and I'm writing to Sandy. They feel more personal. I feel more connected to all of my customers this way. And just because you're sending out most of the time a mass email written towards my ideal customer, it's going to everybody. But I just feel like I'm building a relationship with these people because I know what they want. And most of the times I'm getting, I send out an email to our list and I get several emails in replies about, yes, thank you for sending this. This is just what I was looking for, so it really helps build that loyalty as well. And marketing is way more fulfilling this way because I understand how I'm helping my customers. And to me, it's a lot more enjoyable, and I don't mind writing, we write between weekly and bi-monthly emails, and I don't mind writing them because I know I'm helping them. I'm here to serve my customers. I'm not here to make a profit off of them. And that to me is so much more fulfilling than feeling salesy and just trying to make money off of them. I'm actually teaching them something or helping them get healthier, reach their goals, or if they're really struggling to cook a great meal for their kids and their kids are always arguing, just being able to help them make that easier is so much more rewarding than looking at just my sales at the end of the year. So after you build your ideal customer, you should start implementing this into your marketing materials. So you can start by, everybody should be collecting emails with an ESP or email service provider. It is actually illegal to use Google or like Hotmail to send emails out to people. You're actually spamming them and you can get fined. I've actually heard of people getting fined up to like $10,000 and even losing their entire email list. So, as you're either out at farmers markets or going to the grocery store and seeing somebody, you should be collecting their email address. And, right away, it was really awkward for me, but sometimes things have to be hard until you just get used to it. And now it's just habit. Somebody says, I'm really struggling to find good recipes for my family on a consistent basis. And I just say, hey, give me your email. I send out emails once a month with great recipes. Even if you don't think that they would be interested in buying your products, you would be surprised. And to start out with, send monthly emails just to build that relationship and occasionally sell your products. So right now we send sales emails like 6 times a year. And some people, if you're a CSA or, you're only going to be sending them, once a year to get all your CSA signups, and then you will be done unless you're selling like add-on products. Then you'd also want to be sending a monthly sales email along with your relationship building email. So it just kind of depends on your farm and what you're looking to sell. We use Facebook page, and it's called Business Suite for tracking engagement and managing posts and stuff like that. You should also have a minimum of a 1-page website. Ideally, you would have a 5-page website consisting of your homepage, about page, a products page, a contact page, and then a blog. And this just helps build SEO helps your customers find you. And that's where your relationship, most of the time you're directing all of your people to your website. So that's just where you can build an even stronger relationship with them. So same with your website, you want to focus everything on your ideal customer and their story, not you. So you guys can feel free to go ahead and look at my website and how I have that wordage on there, but it's all about our ideal customer. There's even on our about section, I talk about our ideal customer and how we help them. And then I say a little blurb about us, and that's about it. The rest of it is all how we serve them, how we help them, and what products we can, provide for them. You need to have effective communication. So your email lists, all your emails should be written as if you were talking to your ideal customer. Write about how you can help them, recipes, like I said, tips, connect with them emotionally. So if you, I try to send out a quote, and, if I want to be inspirational and be really inspirational, or, if I'm having a really hard time parenting my 5 kids, I send out an email about that, and get their ideas, or, teach them how I went through a struggle and what worked for me. And that it builds such a strong relationship with your customers. And not only that, but we have seen too, with these relationship building emails, then they forward these emails onto their friends. Oh my goodness, Rachelle gave me such a great recipe for this pot roast. I made it and it was amazing. Here's the recipe. And then they look at it, and then they go to our website, and then they in return sign up for our emails. So I'm growing my email list, and that's how you make money. You make money off of your email list. So social media posts is just about sharing your story and how you solve their problems. We use this for lead generating, not to sell. With Facebook algorithms now, if you try to sell on Facebook, your page can be banned. I have seen that happen to a farmer. And they won't show your post to as many people. So we are just using it to share what we're doing on the farm, with the kids, what they're up to. And then on occasion, I'll put up there, if I make a great lead magnet. A lead magnet is something like, like I said before, the 5 tips to eating on the go, or 5 quick meals for eating on the go. That's a lead magnet. In return for that free guide, they're giving me their email address. And that's how we make sales, is off of email. And then we do some farmers markets as well. But our email list, that's how I do all of our selling. I send out an email, and then people order from that. Your website design, like I said before, write about them first, their problems, how you solve them, and build trust. You need to build trust before you can actually ask for a sale. I've actually seen customers on our email list now for 1.5 years, and they're just buying now. So it's going to take all the time that it needs, and you just have to be patient. But once you build that trust, most of the time your customers are forever loyal. So it's really beneficial. So this ideal customer is for like a flower farmer. So Jennifer is a 40-year-old mom of 2 teenagers. She works part-time now that her kids are getting older, and most of her life revolves around her kids' sports activities. She loves to bake. She appreciates quality above all else and supports causes she believes in with her time and money. Sometimes she struggles with anxiety, but doesn't like to talk about it too often. She is stressed out with work and the kids and does not devote much time to self-care, but wishes she did. So in creating this ideal customer profile, you can see it is very specific. It's all of, basically it is describing Jennifer and all of her problems, what she enjoys to do, and what she's, doing in her spare time, as well as, her work time, she's taking care of kids. And in this, it gives you a foundation for creating all of your marketing materials. So if you are marketing to Jennifer, and you were a flower farmer, you would say, come cut and connect. Looking for a fun outing, or do you desperately need some alone time? You're invited to visit during our You Pick Flower Garden events. We will show you how to cut the perfect flower arrangement, spend quality with family and friends, and connect with your community. And this is just what she's looking for. She is lacking self-care. So this is her way to just come and like I said, do you desperately need some alone time? She's looking for some self-care. Yes, I want to come pick some flowers and just have a little bit of alone time and, connect. That's what she's looking for. So this is how you can really appeal to your ideal customer. This is something you would put on your website, and she would read this and be like, oh my goodness, when can I come? She would email you and be like, you have I need this right now. When can I come and cut flowers? This is why she wants to come cut flowers. It's not because you're putting cover crops into your flower beds. It's because she wants alone time and she wants to connect with somebody other than her kids. I love my kids, but I like to go pick flowers and have a little alone time. So this is a great social media post. You always want to have beautiful pictures. You do not have to be a photographer to take great pictures. However, once you get more into your direct marketing path, I want to say, the last 2 years, we actually have hired somebody to come and take pictures, and it's just family photos, some with us and the kids, just so we have some really, really nice photos to build off of. But a lot of this editing you can do on your phone. Watch a couple YouTube videos. It's phone technology nowadays. It's so easy to take beautiful pictures. So here's an example of a Facebook post. It's this beautiful picture, and in the caption, it's, how are you spending your days, weeks, months, years, or life? Are you choosing to live a meaningful life over the urgent one? When we allow urgent to rule over our lives, we are only capable of seeing what is right in front of us and lose perspective. Pay attention to the meaningful more often. Make your hours, weeks, months, years, and precious life count. So this is just a post on Facebook to just inspire her, to inspire this flower farmer's ideal customer, Jennifer, to actually make a more, meaningful life instead of, living life anxiously and feeling like a busy mom and not taking care of herself, to make her life count. And as she sees these posts, she's really going to trust this flower farmer. She's going to think that they just get her. They understand exactly what she needs. This is so inspirational to her. The next time this flower farmer has a You Pick day, Jennifer's going to come because she's going to feel just this great connection to her farmer. And that's what our goal is here, is to help our customer with their problems. So after we, dive deep into our ideal customer and people start getting a little overwhelmed with managing the farm and now all these customers and your emails and blog posts and social media posts, it can sound very overwhelming for people. And I know I struggled with it right away, especially with managing 5 kids and in our multiple enterprises and stuff. And so managing your time to have a sustainable farm is very important. Especially if you're planning on doing this in the long run. It's not sustainable if you're working on your farm, 60 plus hours a week, plus trying to manage the marketing side of your business. Plus, I'm sure most people have kids and they have off-farm jobs. There's just a lot to manage, your social life. So everybody needs to think about this when they are direct marketing and just running a farm in general, managing your time so you have a more sustainable life. So we always like to look at our business with different roles. So we have our farm labor, which is our day-to-day tasks, moving the cows, any chores, stuff like that. Accounting is a whole separate enterprise. We set aside specific time for accounting, tax preparation, stuff like that, managing our bills, checkbooks, everything like that. You have your business management. So how you're managing your, looking at your finances, looking at how your farm is growing, other, business management. You're the CEO when you're in this role. So you're not the farm laborer. You're not doing accounting work. You're just the CEO. And then marketing. So when we're doing this, we're actually, stepping aside. I'm not trying to do, the farm tasks while also trying to make a decision, does our ideal customer want us to raise chickens or not this year? You need to actually delegate separate time for all of these things. So all of your decisions should be with your CEO hat on, not in your farm labor hat when you're out there moving cows. My husband and I were guilty of this for quite some time. We'd be out moving cows, and I would say, oh, we should really have a farm tour this year, or, because that's what our ideal customer wants. She wants to come see the farm with her family. And so I'd say, we should really have a farm tour this year, and we'd be moving these cows. And my husband would be like, are you nuts? We are so busy. And then I'd say, oh, never mind, let's not do one. So that's why you really need to make decisions with your CEO hat on. Had I not done that, we wouldn't have had a farm tour this year. We wouldn't have built a stronger relationship with our ideal customer. So that's why it's really important to have all these tasks delegated and a separate time for each of them. Otherwise, your life is just not manageable. And things start, slipping through the cracks. You start forgetting, about sending an email, and it seems like your life gets overwhelming. And actually, I find now that I'm managing my time, I actually have more time. My days are a lot calmer. I have a plan and a backup plan. And with 5 kids, our farm, sustaining our farm and our marketing and our off-farm jobs, it's manageable and it's sustainable. We always try to avoid the words I should, or I can't, or I don't know, because it really holds us up. You think, oh, I should be marketing instead of, doing all these chores. And does that really motivate you to market? No. Or I don't know how to find customers isn't going to serve you. You can say, I'm learning how to find customers. But when you say, I don't know how to find customers, in your mind, you truly think, I don't know how to find customers. And it almost stops you up. It makes it challenging to actually do the hard work to go find those customers. And, versus I'm learning how to find customers. I might not know how, but I'm learning how to do it. It makes you more motivated to actually try something. So you need to learn to prioritize your life. We always schedule personal time first in our schedule for the week. And at night, it's just, we haven't quite gotten to Sundays off, but my goal for 2022 is to have every Sunday afternoon off. So right now at night, 7:30, after my husband and I put the kids to bed, it's just a half an hour with just him and I. We can either watch TV, we can just talk and sit and visit, but it's just a half an hour of personal time it's purely for enjoyment. And then we also set it in the summer months, we would set aside, my husband and I, one like Saturday or Sunday a month, and we would just go for a horseback ride. Him and I both enjoy that. And just setting aside that 1 hour for us to reconnect and for us to just both relax and take a step back makes you more productive during the week. And it makes you want to get to stay on your schedule, keep your commitments to yourself. And, keeps you motivated to stay on task versus, getting off task because you feel overwhelmed. We always write out a weekly to-do list and schedule priority projects or tasks. This is more on, I do most of the scheduling for more myself and my marketing. And my husband, he kind of just knows his to-do list and what tasks need to be done that week. And then I kind of will, when I'm doing my schedule, I do it every Sunday. And I will call him and just say, hey, what days do you want to move the cows this week? What days? I have deliveries on Wednesdays, and we just coordinate what appointments and schedule we have going on for the week. So I always do a brain dump on Sundays to write down everything I need to do for the week. And even if it's something I think of that's for the next month, then I write it down for the month of May. I want to clean the barn. So I even schedule out like in advance. I'm already scheduling into 2022 for things I know, projects I want to get done and about their time frame I want to do them in. And it's just whatever pops into my head, and it helps. Your brain is not actually meant to store all this information about your daily tasks. And when you have 5 kids also to manage, my brain can't manage all of that. So I have to write it down or I forget. And I prioritize and schedule out, and it just makes managing tasks a lot easier. And we now finish tasks start to finish. It's not, let's go work on the fence one day, and then we're going to work on the building we need to fix one day. It's my husband and I were like, we fenced in 90 acres this year. And it's like, okay, every single day we have free time, we are going to be fencing. And we fenced in, it was 110 acres. So we put up, I don't know how many miles of fence, but a lot, and water line and everything. And we got it done. And now we will move on to our next project. So really prioritizing what you need to get done and finishing that task to completion before you move on to something else. And one thing we did not do was set boundaries our first few years. We were letting customers come to the farm and pick up. They could message us and say, hey, can I come up and pick 2 packages of hamburger up tonight? And I would say yes, not even thinking. So then I would have to run up to the house during milking, come up to the house, pack their order quick, do the transaction, and it was just chaos. So now we set boundaries. We deliver meat on Wednesdays. We have on-farm pickup on Saturday mornings only, and that's it. We do allow some accommodations to that. We do have an option on our website for the time to be arranged. And I always arrange that time 2 weeks in advance. They have to schedule it 2 weeks in advance so I can plan for it, because I need to pack that order and stuff like that. And we have things going on. And so now at the drop of a hat, I do not cater to my customers, and they know that. So I would say set boundaries immediately. And that's with family too. My mom really values seeing our kids. And before we used to go over there quite often. Now she knows Saturdays, if there is time, we will come over there. But I've set that boundary. We have to get our stuff done first. She can come take the kids from us for a few hours. That's fine. But if Jordan and I go over there, it's if we have time. So we really set boundaries for ourselves, our farm, and our family comes first. So that is very important when you're trying to manage a farm and direct marketing and family and other priorities. And this also, will help you have a more fulfilling life. You can implement a daily schedule to stay on task. Once a project is started, finish it to completion before moving on to the next. Or you're going to have projects. I hear a lot that, my farm is a mess because I have this project and this project and this project. Well, it's because you're not staying on task, as well as staying distraction free during task time. So no answering your phone. My husband is guilty of this. He's terrible about talking on the phone. So I finally got him some earbuds so we could somewhat multitask, but no answering calls, texts, checking social media while you're in the middle of a project, especially marketing, writing emails in the morning. My phone is shut off. And if my husband tries to call me in the morning when he's out milking, I don't answer. That is my focus time to solely focus on my email, because I only allow myself, an hour to write it, to get it done. Otherwise, I answer his call and he's just, wants to chit chat. Well, now my email is going to get pushed off to the next morning when I have focus time, or, time to do a task. We'll be moving cows, and if he starts yapping on the phone, it's going to take us an extra half an hour until he finishes his phone call, when we could have just quick finished it and he could have called the person back when he had time. So staying distraction free is huge. Even with our kids, we only schedule certain tasks, when the boys are napping, our younger two, is when, I'll answer emails from my customers or, messages on Facebook, because I might start reading an email when my kids are all bugging and pulling at my leg. And then I'm guilty of this. Alex knows this. she'll send me an email, and like days later, she's like, hey, just checking to make sure you got my email. And it's because I was not answering that email when I was distraction free. And so then I forget, or, you're not completing these tasks because you're not actually focusing 100% on this task. Like I said before, scheduling in personal time daily, and always end your day at a specific time and allow time for you and your family. This is a little harder on the dairy farm, especially in the months when we're chopping. We're a little more lenient on this, but right now I go to bed at 8:30. No ifs, ands, or buts, because I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I need to sleep and I need to be refreshed. Otherwise, tomorrow I'm going to be dragging and not feeling good and not want to, work as hard as I would if I actually slept and took that time for personal time. And allowing time for you and your family is huge. Your life is, you only live one life. And if you're just spending all this time, working and not giving yourself any personal enjoyment, well, then why are you farming? We enjoy farming. That is our personal enjoyment. Some of the tasks are not, but I think if you don't incorporate that personal enjoyment time in your day, your farm isn't going to be sustainable. And I also want to urge you all to consider starting a morning practice, whether it be meditation, deep breathing, praying, or anything like that, whatever kind of makes you calm down. I started doing this in the morning, and it really has changed the way I emotionally interact with everybody. I'm a lot more of a calm person. We have animals die on our farm, and it's like, yeah, this is really tragic. This is really sad, but it could be a lot worse. So I think just having that, in the morning, I usually wake up and I just take a little time to take some deep breaths, and that's what I like to just deep breathe. Some people like to meditate, or even in the middle of the day, if you're really busy, just taking some time to just do some deep breathing just helps you be a lot more calm when problems do arise, especially with my kids. After doing this, I'm a lot more of a calm mom. But it's difficult. It's challenging when you have 5 kids in the summertime and you're trying to move 150 cows, and you all have to be very calm. So it really has helped, manage our farm a lot better and be more present all the time. So that's all I have, Alex.
That's awesome, because there's a good number of questions already in the chat. So Barrett, if you want to kind of moderate the chat in the Q&A, I'll just remind folks that you can drop the question in there and Barrett will say it, or you can put the word stack, S-T-A-C-K, and we'll keep track of who's in line to unmute. We'll just call on you. You can unmute and ask your question, and if you want to have a little bit more interaction that way.
And one thing I will add to, Alex, we had talked about this earlier. I'm sure there will be time tonight. I talked kind of fast, but even if anybody wants to ask questions about our grazing practices, what we do on our farm, or if they want to share something, that's why LSP, that's why I do what I do, and you guys do what you do. It's just the one-on-one farmer interaction and how we can, help build this regenerative agriculture quickly and efficiently, and sharing our stories. I think that is a huge, piece of the puzzle. So feel free to ask me any questions about grazing, or, if we want to wait for those till later, we can do that too. But I really like to add these into all of our meetings at LSP.
Yeah, thanks, Rachelle. All right, Barrett, you got some of those questions that were happening during the presentation?
Yeah, let's start with Lisa's. So I think this is for, actually, I've heard of Constant Contact, but I'm not totally sure what this is. Do you use something like Constant Contact for your customers? Lisa, if you want to, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, maybe they want to elaborate a little bit. Constant Contact, I've never
Okay, I can go. See here. Lisa, do you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, I see. Well, I see her question. It says use something like constant contact. That must be
Yep.
some type of um, thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't know if she's still on here or not, but like I said, I email bi-monthly, sometimes weekly. Blog posts are monthly. Social media posts are more when I feel like it. Some people are, for sure weekly or twice weekly. Some people are like, I have to put on social media 3 times a week, but social media is not my focus. I don't think that's where, that's more my lead generation and sharing my story. It's not how I'm making sales. So my focus is my email marketing. That's where I'm making sales.
Okay. Let's see here. How often do you use blog posts or social media posts? I think you kind of got into that,
Yeah.
but okay.
Well, the plate can be different stuff, I think.
Okay.
Lan says constant contact is similar to MailChimp. So I use MailChimp for our email service provider. That's how we collect emails. I just use the free version still. I think it's free up until 2,000 people. I have not seen a need yet to pay for it. So I'm not going to pay for it until I have to. Our emails are very, Alex has seen my emails. They're not fancy. I maybe will throw a picture in there, but most of the time it's just me typing out an email. Very traditional. It's not all these fancy links and clicks and buttons and, that some people that you see in, newsletters like that you get from, Kohl's or somewhere. So
Okay.
I have no need to pay for an email service provider yet.
Another question here. What are your resources to learning your direct marketing?
So I would say if you really want to start very basic, I would get the book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. If you really want to go in depth and learn what I have learned, I highly, highly, highly recommend Charlotte Smith at 3 Cow Marketing. You can set up a free consult call with her to see if, and listening to her podcast, The Profitable Mindset by Charlotte Smith, has really excelled our marketing and how in the way we market. There is so many marketing courses out there. It can get kind of confusing and you can almost lose your goals behind it. I know 5 Mary's Farms, they have a marketing course. There's a lot of people that have marketing courses out there. And I think you just need to pick one and stick with it and just trust the process and just kind of learn from them and what they do. And I like I said, I stick to Charlotte Smith and her podcast and all of her stuff. And I started with Donald Miller and he has a lot of podcasts as well. And just grown to like Charlotte Smith a lot more and how she values her customers. So I think that, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, there's another question from Lisa on, I think this is going to your ideal customer. Why are you marketing just to women? Can you maybe, I guess, expand on how you chose your customer?
Yeah. So originally, the reason why you want to pick an ideal customer and I market to a woman is because you want to make your marketing specific, because when you're marketing to everybody, you're not marketing to anybody. So of course, some people are going to have a male for their ideal customer based on what they're trying to sell. But we're marketing to a woman because that's who I want our ideal customer to be. And that's who I've found, that's who's buying from us the most. That's who's valuing all of our products and what we're doing. And that's how I built her. So it can be a fake person. It can be a real person. It can be a bunch of real people combined, but it just helps really specify your marketing So it's actually relevant to people and they actually feel the connection,
Got it.
if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna
Thank you,
combine.
Barrett. Can I just jump in really quick? I apologize.
Lisa.
I heard the questions and I was like trapped in that place where you can't get back to the screen where you can see everybody. So I'm sorry. So you did answer the question. Constant Contact is a mail email marketing platform that you do have to spend money on. So are you saying that MailChimp?
MailChimp is free, or MailerLite is free up to 2,000. And I
Oh.
use the free version of MailChimp and I love it. I've had no issues with it.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
And yeah, so
Yeah, and thanks for the answer about the ideal customer.
yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna combine these two. How do you build your email subscriptions? And then have you ever gotten pushback for emailing too often?
Okay, so we build our email list. It's kind of funny. I have the mentality of who am I going to meet today or who am I going to help serve today? So, we don't get off the farm a whole lot, but, anytime I'm heading to the grocery store or going to, an appointment or something, I'm just friendly to people. You just talk to people, you just, start casual conversation. And then sometimes people, have that little button like, oh, I'm really struggling with this. And it's like, I can help you. But you can't help anybody if you don't have their email list or their email address, right? So it's like, okay, give me your email address then, and I'll send this to you. I have these blog posts, recipes, tips, tricks in the kitchen, stuff like that to help these people. And then as well as collecting, email addresses off of social media, I create a lead magnet. And there's a lot of how to build a lead magnet in a lot of the marketing courses you'll take if you do decide to take one. And that captures email addresses. I capture email addresses on my website. And then at like the farmer's market, somebody buys something from me, my immediate response is, let me have your email address. It's not, can I have your email address? Most of the time people will say no. So it's, oh, let me have your email address. I'd love to be able to send you recipes, next month and how to cook that roast you just bought. And they're like, that is so thoughtful of you. Here's my email address. It's literally that simple. Like, it just sounds like, oh my gosh, like teeth chattering nerves. It's not that bad. It's literally, let me have your email address so I can help you. And people are like, that's so thoughtful. People are nice, a lot nicer than we think nowadays. So, and then the other question was, do I get pushback? I have never had somebody say you email me too much. Is what they will do is they will unsubscribe from your list. And you actually want that. You don't want all these people that are on your list that are never going to buy from you. If they unsubscribe from your email list, that means you either, one, have not built a strong enough relationship, or maybe they're actually not your ideal customer. So that's actually that's what my goal is. I send all these emails, and the people that are still hanging around, those are the people that truly love to hear from me. And so, and if they don't open my email, that means I'm not doing my job. That means I'm not helping them enough. That means I'm not serving them. And it helps me improve my marketing. What did I do? I look at, why didn't they open this email, or why didn't they click my, my recipe, or, stuff like that. It helps me build a stronger marketing for down the road. It helps me learn. So I have no problem with people not being happy I'm sending them emails too often.
That's a really good point. I never thought about that.
It really, some
yeah.
people would take it to heart, like, oh man, only like 10 of my people open my email. Like, you could feel super bummed. But I'm like, no, they're not taking it out on me. It's just because either they were too busy or they had some other reason for not opening it. It wasn't because I am a bad person. It's just, or I'm emailing them too much, I'm too salesy. No, I'm here to serve them. And maybe I just wasn't serving them in the way that they wanted.
Mm.
So marketing, yes, can get very like emotional if you let it. You can really take this stuff to heart. Like, oh, I didn't get any likes on my Facebook post. Well, that means I didn't do my job. That means I didn't, really hit home on my ideal customer. I did something, I need to change something. It's not about me. It's not, oh, you're a bad person, so I didn't like your Facebook post. There's probably some other reason. So I think that marketing can be challenging too.
Oh, very good points. We've got a question from Jerome and Danielle. Is your meat branded, and do you do that, or does your processor brand it?
So our meat, we take to a USDA certified plant, and then yes, we originally did not do the brand, like our Wholesome Family Farms name on the meat. It just said like wherever we got it done, Stinson's Country Style Meats in Houston. I wouldn't see it as an issue if I was selling like halves and wholes and quarters to people, but we found it as an issue, when you're selling cuts, like we sell a lot of retail cuts, you want this package to have your name on it because you want them to, it's just to look more uniform. It looks a lot nicer. So now we have switched over to our meat being all branded, and yes, we go to Dover Processing, and they do all that for you there. It's just a fee, like a one-time fee to get your label printed in their little printer, and they put that right on your meat. I know some people will actually print their own stickers and labels and then also put that on their meat instead. So that's another option as well. We just found it's just easier to have the processor kind of do it all at once. So, and I just like the more uniform, like I said, it looks a little more professional, especially if you're looking into, going to farmers markets and potentially selling retail or wholesale to restaurants. It just looks very nice.
Very good. Okay, another question from Lance. If you have a website such as Wix, an email platform is often included in your price. Oh, maybe this isn't quite. Maybe choose your website first.
Maybe choose your website first.
Yeah. Okay, that wasn't much of a question. Okay.
So yes, our website is built through Squarespace. They also have an email that you can use for them, but it's also paid. I just like MailChimp for some of the features it offers. Honestly, when it comes to marketing and stuff, you just need to make a decision. There's no one size fits all. There's no right or wrong. Just make a decision. Just pick one and just use it. And if you find in 6 months or a year, you're like, oh, I really don't like these features or whatever, then change. But I think just make a decision, pick an email service provider, and start collecting emails. There's no wrong decision. So Alex wants to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Shut her up. Rachelle, when did you decide you needed a website, and how did you go about choosing one? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I decided I needed a website immediately because I just knew the value of it. It's how customers find you. They hear about Wholesome Family Farms. What's the first thing you do when you hear somebody? You Google it. When you Google it, what do you want to look at? Their website. So that was like literally we started direct marketing. So we started direct marketing in 2018. When we first knew we wanted direct market, that was the very first thing I did. I went on YouTube, how to build a website, and that's what I did. I just built a free I built it myself, just paid for the very minimum I could on Squarespace and did that right away so I could start capturing emails and people could start learning about us on another platform, because that's what everybody wants. And do you have another question? You said website and what else?
No, that I guess you talked about Squarespace, so you were kind of looking for a deal just so you could try something out for a little bit. I've heard websites can get kind of expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I would start with, I haven't heard very good things about Weebly. I've heard Wix is okay. I really like the features of Squarespace. It is super affordable. It's like $12 a month. It's really not that expensive. And the way I look at it, if you're going to have a website, that's just a cost of doing business. That's just a cost that you're just going to have. And I know there are some free websites. They're just, you're not going to rank as high on Google. with some of them like Weebly, some of them ones like that. You can get super expensive and go to Gray's Cart. I still haven't done that because I don't feel a need. If you're selling tons and tons of, WordPress, somebody had said. So I think that doing, it's super cheap, super easy to do yourself. You could have it hired done if you really feel super uncomfortable, but I really think doing that first is makes your farm that much more ahead. And it can be so simple. You can just do a one-page website. I know, I think Square does them as well. We have like a Square reader that does a lot of our transactions at the farmer's market. And I think you can create a one-page, even just a landing page is what they're called. You can create them in MailChimp as well, just a landing page. So it has a link for your customers to go to that just, it's always there and just helps build a little more trust a little faster.
There's not any more questions in the chat. So if anyone wants to come off a mute and ask a question, that would be
I
awesome.
see. Lisa asked if I use an online tool for scheduling.
Oh,
No,
yes.
I don't use an online tool for scheduling. You could use a Google calendar or something like that. I'm super traditional and I like just my paper and pencil and a planner, you don't have to get anything fancy. I just go to Walmart and get like a $5 planner or something. It's not anything huge. I do schedule out all my marketing. So right now I'm working on my entire marketing plan for 2022. Sounds super overwhelming, but I write out all my email topics, blog posts for the entire year. That way, when it comes time in the morning, when I wake up and I have to write an email address, I can just go look, it's January 3rd today. I'm writing about this. And I just write it. I don't have to think and make a decision plus write an email. It's just already thought out. And I don't second guess myself. I just trust that when I made that decision, it was the right decision. Then I learned from it if it wasn't. So I do all my scheduling on paper and pencil. And there's lots of erasing.
I do have a question. And it's what are other, so I work with, a lot of my ideal customers don't have internet access. We're in a very rural area. And so we've kind of got the retail direct market side of things kind of down. We do a farmer's market. But is there anything that's between retail and wholesale, kind of like an email list? You're the first person I've heard from who's talking about just emails. And I think that's like a very creative way to get direct sales without being like that farmer's market persona. But I was just wondering if there are any other strategies that you've considered or sort of creative alternatives that you've tried. I don't know if you've ever put out actual flyers or, just done different things like that. So I'm curious because we are low on internet access.
Yeah. So we do put out flyers. We just basically spread word of mouth wherever we can. So I do have like flyers at some of the local, stores and wherever I can post them, post office. I did create some trifolds. I did all that on Canva. That's a free, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's pretty common nowadays. So all of it on Canva. I would say if you have, you said you have poor internet access. I would say if you're really wanting to reach those customers and build that strong relationship, so they're always buying from you, I'd write them a letter. I'd go super, super non-traditional. I would go way back to snail mail. I would write them a letter once a month, build that relationship, and they're gonna be like, whoa. I do write thank you letters to my customers a lot. So I think if you really want to build that relationship and have that constant connection and sales, write them a letter and maybe even think about having an on-farm store if you don't want to do farmers market. So that's our next goal, is building an on-farm store so people can come and shop in our store. We eventually want to wean out of the farmers markets. They're just very time consuming and I don't enjoy bringing 5 kids. So then we have to find daycare. So it's kind of our win-win, I guess.
Rachelle, do you want to expand on that? Cindy had a question about why are you planning to have an on-farm store? Is there any more to that
That's the
decision?
reason, because
Okay.
we eventually don't want to do farmers markets. They're just a lot of work. It's, you know, you're packing all of your product. And then when you're talking about, when you're selling off farm product like bacon, pork, sausage and stuff, technically you have to have a retailer's license. Then you're also talking about freezers that you're having to transport with the trailer and things and logistics like that. So you're spending a lot of time and prep for these farmers markets. And then you're also hauling a lot of product that you're probably not going to sell. Because what if that one customer wants a sirloin roast and I don't have any, you know? So it's a lot of transportation and a lot more costs that I see with having to do a farmer's market. You're spending time driving to the farmer's market. You're spending time at the farmer's market. Then you also have that drive home. And whereas if you have an on-farm store, I can walk out my door and I'm there from, 10 to 11. And it's a little more personal too, I think, when a customer gets to come to, they can also go peek at the cows if they want to, or go see this, and it just builds a little more connection to their farmer. I do think there is a place and time for farmers market. I think it's a great place to start building that customer relationship. We just started doing farmers markets last year, and we've been direct marketing since 2018, and we haven't seen a need. We just more so did it to see if it would increase our sales. And honestly, those farmers market customers bought from me during the farmers market season at farmers markets, and that's it. So it's kind of like, where is my time better well spent? Is it better well spent on sending emails to my email list who's buying from me whenever I send a sales email? Or is my time better well spent at a farmer's market a couple hours a week, and they're only going to buy from me for those 3 months out of the year? To me, I want a long lasting, true relationship than just a once and done at a farmer's market. So that's my goal for getting everybody on farm.
I had a question myself. So in terms of like the meat that you're marketing, what do you have certain cuts that you market specifically, or are you marketing like the whole animal, or like how do you go about doing that in terms of like breaking that up?
So that gets super confusing. In my marketing course, Charlotte Smith really, really, really focuses on the power of one. So you're marketing one product to one customer in one like sales avenue. So we really should not be doing, you should really only be focusing on one until you're profitable and sustainable at that one, and then you expand. We went gung-ho and started all chickens, beef, pork, did it all, and we were spread very thin. And it's not sustainable. We actually cut out laying hens, and I don't know if we will do them in the future or not, being your profit margin for eggs, your time spent on eggs, and what we truly enjoy doing. So we were at 300 laying hens this year, and we were selling 60 to 70 dozen eggs a week. And I was like, I literally just could not sustain it anymore. Do you know how many eggs that is to package and grade? And it was crazy. And my time is better well spent moving 150 cows than washing some eggs, and your profits are a lot different. So I think as far as marketing goes, I would start with one product. You have that, if you're a CSA, you start with your veggie CSA, and that's it until you are at, until you have so many CSA customers that you have to hire help. Then you move on to the next product. That's the same with your marketing. It's the power of one. We really focus on our halves and wholes. That's what our primary, that's our mode of sales. I don't really market cuts so much in my emails. So it's all like April is pre-selling all of our chickens for the year. May is pre-selling all of our beef for the year. So I really focus on one product for a large portion of our time. If you're a smaller farm and just getting started with beef, and say right now you're at 3 beef, well, you can handle, raising another probably, 10 yourself before you would probably have to hire help. So really focus on only selling those halves and wholes of beef, if that's what your ideal customer wants. My ideal customer is a mom that, wants bulk sales, she wants a little bit of a discount. Your ideal customer might be somebody that just wants to put a couple things in their freezer. So then you might want to, in your marketing, be selling cuts. If that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Lisa, you have a question you stacked in the chat.
Sorry, had to get back to that same microphone thing. And now I have to think of my question. I'm sorry. It'll come to me, but just so much good information. Thank you for that. If I think of it, Barrett, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Just spaced it.
No problem.
And two, I want to add the power of one. Don't spread yourself thin. Trying to do deliveries and pickups at the farm. Like I said, set boundaries, pick one. Get really great at selling out at that farmer's market every week before you decide to go do another one, which I don't advise. But, or starting an on-farm store and selling at farmers markets and doing deliveries. You're just going to spread yourself thin. Pick one and get really good at that one, or do drop sites. Drop sites are very common for people, having a central. We do a drop site where we were doing drop sites, and since those really weren't working well for us, we do better with the delivery. It's just easier for our schedule. But just picking one thing. Oh, Lisa said she thought of her question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use an online platform like Local Line or other? So our online platform is our Squarespace website. And then we did just move to barn to door because we have so much inventory we manage. If I was only selling a CSA and not had add-ons, or if I was only selling quarter beef and a half a beef, or pork, or just whole chickens, I would not choose to do Local Line or Graze Cart or Shopify or barn to door. It's because we have such a heavy inventory now that we've grown. So we not only sell, the bulk orders, now we're doing a lot of retail cuts. So in order to manage the inventory and the delivery, you need to have a little more of a, buff, I guess, provider. I mean, I don't know if that's quite the right term, but that's why we now just this year transitioned to barn to door just to manage that. Square is another one that's really common. We use actually a Square app for people that eventually will come to the farm store. They'll use our Square. It's a credit card reader, but that manages inventory as well. So if you have a heavy inventory load, I highly recommend doing one of those more robust websites that can manage that.
Does anyone else want to come off of mute and ask some questions?
Yeah, even if it's off subject, off of direct marketing, if anybody has anything they want to share. I know I always love to hear about what everybody else is trying and doing. So
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we can just, everyone, if you want to come off mute and make it a little bit more conversational. I'm curious what people are taking away from this presentation. What stuck out to you about, was there an aha moment?
I've got something, Alex. I'm going to speak up for the farmers market, even though Rochelle's kind of going the other way. But for the Winona farmers market, they're looking for a meat vendor.
yeah, I know
Because Jennifer and I
asked me for next year.
we've retired recently from doing the farmers market, not from farming or anything else, but there's nobody selling meat right now at the Winona farmers market. So just spread the word.
Yeah, they already
We
asked me
could
to do
sure
the
use a
winter
meat vendor
market.
down there.
And she asked me to do the summer one. So we're thinking about it. Like I said, I think that there's a good time and place for it, but it's just tough when you're trying to manage children. But yes, I do think farmers markets are great. So yeah, I've heard really good things about the Winona market too. So
Oh, it's a great market, yeah. And they run through the winter twice
Yeah.
a week twice a month
nice.
during the winter inside. Yeah.
You are right, though, Rachelle, that it's a lot easier to go to a farmer's market. If you got potatoes, you can just sit on a counter. But when you got to haul a freezer and, you have a perishable product, there's a lot more work involved in going to a farmer's market with meat than there are other things. So, yeah.
So Sarah asked if I have an all-time favorite email or social media post. I don't know if I have an all-time favorite. I would say just recently we have reaped our rewards of consistent emailing. And now I can send out an email and I know that I'm going to make a sale off of it. It's my $100 an hour work or potentially $1,000 an hour work versus me out moving the cows. And I could pay somebody $20 an hour to go move my cows, or I can tell my husband, hey, you can have my half of the wage and I'll write an email. So we have finally actually reaped the rewards of being consistent. So I think patience, but yeah, I guess I don't really have a favorite, just that I'm now seeing my hard work is paying off. Lisa asked if we will get your marketing podcast info, Charlotte Smith. Yeah, just look her up on like Apple Podcasts or whatever you use, and it's just the Profitable Mindset. And then her website, I think, is just like charlottesmith.com. Her actual direct email is info@charlottesmith.com if you just want to email her with questions. She is great, very responsive, loves to help anybody. So.
Oh, Alex said that she can send out that information.
Oh, perfect.
As well. Yep.
Rachelle, okay, so you said you started direct marketing in 2018. When did you what was your first kind of education with it? And how do you continue your education? You mentioned the podcast, but are there other ways you really got to just kind of sit down and develop and do some, work over time? How do you build that into your just run-of-the-mill routine?
Sure. So my first education with it was, everybody just heard about Joel Salatin. So I started watching some of his YouTube videos. Then I heard him talk about this Charlotte Smith lady. So I looked her up on YouTube. She's got tons of videos, and it was just free. And I was like, whoa, this is great. That's how I got started, was just watching free YouTube videos from her. And then I went onto her website, and she also gives away free thing. She's got a lead magnet on there. She gives away free content to get your email address. Then she starts sending me emails. And so it just kind of built from there. She gave out so much free information and information I valued. I was her ideal customer. I was a farmer looking how to market. I was her ideal customer. And so then I trusted her and took her course. And so the way her course works now, it wasn't, when I first started, it was just called Farm Marketing from the Heart, and that's all you got. And as she's grown in her marketing skills and things, she's added more courses into her base course. It was $1,500 when I just signed up again. So I kind of keep retaking her classes. And now she actually is diving into more mindset coaching. So she actually does coaching. 3 times a week, she does coaching calls on how to help farmers, manage their time, how they can better. She looks at your emails and will dive into your emails, like what you're doing wrong. So she really breaks them down. And so she's, has those 3 coaching calls a week. So I try to watch a few of them. Plus she has her podcast that she's putting out episodes every week on Thursdays. So honestly, I am trying to do marketing, learning and development, at least 30 minutes a day. Usually it's an hour. And I'll listen to those podcasts, while I'm moving cows or doing other chores or cleaning around the house, wherever I can fit it in. So I'm actually scheduling that into my day as well. So I'm scheduling in about an hour and a half to 2 hours of focus time in the morning on either marketing, business management, or other tasks I need to complete before the kids get up, bills, decision making, etc. And then during the day, we're doing our day-to-day chores. I set aside a specific time during the day to answer any emails or messages that come in. And then I'm setting aside time to learn about marketing. So that's why I say marketing is a full-time job in itself. They say that if you're spending, 40 hours a week on doing chores on your farm, you should be also devoting that much time to your marketing. If you really want to reap those, if you really want to, grow and reap those rewards, I would say I spend about 14 hours a week just on marketing, business management decisions, stuff like that. Sounds overwhelming. But, when you're smaller, you won't be spending that much time, but you will be when you're trying to build your, website and, it's stuff like that, fixing my website throughout the year, other things. So it's not just writing emails, it's other marketing tasks that need to be done.
Well, just leave a little bit of a pause here if anybody else wants to offer up a resource, reflect on something Rachelle offered tonight, ask a question less about marketing and more about farming. Just leave a little bit of dead space here. And otherwise, we might be wrapping up a little early. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I know we're starting to have people hop off, but I just wanted to let you know that the soil health team has the Soil Builders Network. If you haven't signed up for that, Barrett's going to drop a link into the chat, and that keeps you up to date on timely events and resources pertaining to soil health, grazing, so cover crops, no-till grazing, and then also opportunities like this, direct marketing workshop, where we had a food systems webinar earlier today. We talk about land access and other parts of the organization. So that newsletter goes out every other month, and you can sign up on our website to get that kind of, those kinds of updates. And then in that newsletter, you watch out for our Alejandro Carrillo tour that's going to be happening throughout central western Minnesota to southeast Minnesota to western Wisconsin. We also have Alan Williams that's coming out, and both of those are in February. So we're pinning down dates and locations for that, as well as a couple other soil health workshops on no-till organic and diverse crop rotations and cover crop mixes. So more information coming there. Otherwise, thank you. The email will come out with the recording for tonight, and we'll also be posting it on our YouTube channel in about a month or so. And just want to say thank you, Rachelle. And I think you're getting a bunch of thank yous here in the chat, but that was awesome.
Well, good. I
appreciate your candor, and
I hope everybody enjoyed it and could take something away from it, because I know I wish I would have had some of these opportunities when I first started.
Yes, awesome. All right, well, Rachelle's going to bed, and you get an extra 15 minutes. It's your personal time.
No, 8:30. So
I'm on the same schedule as you.
45 minutes before her head hits the pillow, and I'll take a cue from Rachelle and say, let me cut us off tonight.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Have a good night, everyone.